What's up everyone, it's Adam from Life of Adam. Today I'm back with a brand new lifeguarding tip video. And today's video, I'm gonna be talking about questions that you're going to get during a job interview to become a lifeguard. I don't care if this is your first lifeguarding job or second or third, it does not matter. I'm gonna give you guys the blueprint of what to expect, questions that you're gonna get, and tips on how to answer them right now. Now, before I dive into this, if you guys are new to the channel, I make a bunch of lifeguarding tip videos about how to pass the course, how to pass the swim tests at the beginning of the lifeguarding course, basically everything you need to know to be a successful lifeguard. So definitely consider subscribing and liking the video if you're new to the channel to show your support. Now, a lifeguard job interview, it's a little bit different than like your typical career type job, and that's because experience does not weigh as much. Now, you might have this really highly sought after lifeguarding job that has tons of applicants, then yes, they'll look at people who's lifeguarded in the past, but most of the time, the combination of like places really needing lifeguards and typically lifeguards being of like high school age and like early college age, it's not really expected to have experience. So you're gonna be asked questions at the beginning of the job interview, and they're gonna ask you like, have you lifeguarded before? And do not feel self-conscious or upset if your answer is no and it's your first lifeguarding job, because I've been in that position and I thought to myself like, oh shoot, like what am I gonna say? You just be completely transparent, completely honest. They're looking at your ability to just communicate, just be yourself and be someone that's likable. Now, if you have worked as a lifeguard in the past, then you can answer saying like, yes, I worked at a pool for like a summer or two and it went great and I teach swim lessons, whatever it might be. They'll love that, but just don't feel self-conscious if that's not you. Now, they're also gonna ask you questions at the beginning of how did you hear about this position and like, why do you wanna work here as a lifeguard? And these questions can be kind of intimidating if you haven't really thought of something along the lines of what you're gonna say. So if someone asks me, why do I wanna work here? Now you can answer saying like, yeah, like I used to go to camp here, or like I had a cousin who went to camp here. They said they absolutely loved it and they had swim lessons and they loved the lifeguards, and lifeguarding something I got into and I learned how to swim and it's something that I can really envision myself doing here. Like some random response like that. It doesn't have to be the best thing in the world. It's just something off the rip. It just shows that you're likable and that you can phrase sentences and communicate. That's basically what they're looking for. Now they're gonna have some more like background type questions of like, where do you go to school and where do you live, stuff like that. And like once you get those all out of the way, they're gonna start easing into important questions about lifeguarding. One thing they're gonna ask you is like, are you comfortable with enforcing rules and like being assertive and like directing people? And this is just to kind of get a gauge of like if you are someone who has the ability to get things under control and speak out when there's something wrong happening to make sure everyone's safe. If you're very shy and reserved and you answer like very quietly like, yes, I am, then they're gonna be like, okay, this person might not be good for this job if it's a very hectic pool. So you wanna be very confident, very direct. You wanna be vocal and say, yes, of course, I'm very comfortable doing that. And if you're a lifeguard in the past, you can explain that you've done that with like a very large group of people every day when you guarded, like something like that. Now there's kind of two directions an interview can go. It's not really a big deal. It's not like a yes, you got the job, no, you didn't. It's more along the lines of like, you worked as a lifeguard before and you haven't. Let's say you have worked as a lifeguard before. They'll probably ask you if you've had to make any rescues or have you tell them a story about a time that you had to like enforce something like that. And if you haven't worked as a lifeguard, they will give you hypotheticals. Like, let's say the pool is really busy and there's not enough space in the lap lanes for swimming. Like, what do you do? This person's been waiting for a long time. I've used this example in past videos, but it's like such a good example because this is a question that they might ask you. And you can say, oh, like I would make people like circle swim and I would have wave the tube in the water, get someone's attention to have someone hop in and join in. Or they might ask you like, okay, what happens if there's like two people at the same time that need your help? And you just kind of just display to them that you remember the course and that you prioritize someone who obviously is like unconscious and not breathing or whatever over someone who's active. I would say more like higher end lifeguarding jobs might ask questions like that, but if you just reiterate what you learned in the course, you'll be fine. Now, another question that might ask you is like, how do you stay alert and engaged while lifeguarding? And you can say like you like moving around and changing the angle to get away from sun glare, and it's like helps you stay focused and helps you with the scanning pattern, just whatever kind of answer you want, just to show to them that like you're engaged, you're not just sitting there daydreaming and missing everything. And if someone needs your help, you're like not responding. Now, another question they're gonna ask you, this is a telling question. They're gonna be like, hey, like, are you comfortable or do you have experience working with younger kids? Now this question, all this question means is, hey, like, do you want to teach swim lessons for us? That's basically what it's saying. And that's because if you answer, yes, like I love working with kids, they're gonna follow up saying like, well, we offer swim lessons at the beginning of the day from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And like, we would really love you to teach some swim lessons if you worked here. That's basically what the question is gonna be a follow-up of. And if it's something that you wanna do, then you say, yes, like I feel comfortable doing that. I think it'll be great, I'm excited. But if you're someone who's not trying to teach swim lessons, you can say no, be like, yeah, I'm comfortable working with children, but like I prefer not to teach swim lessons. That's completely fine as well. In this position, I completely support you saying no, because I would rather have you get a good lifeguard job that you want and not have to teach swim lessons than lie and say like, yeah, I want to teach swim lessons, get the job, and then they expect you to do it. So just be completely transparent. Be like, yes, like I want to guard, but I don't want to teach swim lessons, and they will be fine. Like they'll accept that. That's something that I did, and I got my first lifeguarding job saying I do not want to teach swim lessons, and it was great that I did that because it was an indoor pool and I really didn't want to teach swim lessons. And on the flip side, my second lifeguarding job was an outdoor summer camp, and I taught swim lessons 5 days a week. So it kind of just grows on you like, oh, I want to try this out, it'll be fun. And it's a little bit different when you're in the summer in the sunshine. Now, this is like a general gist of how the lifeguard interview is gonna go for like a typical lifeguard pool, lake, or like beach job. They might throw in some hypotheticals and ask you some questions like, oh, how would you handle a situation getting out of control with like a person giving you attitude and not listening, something like that. And you just got to go with like, hey, I would try to de-escalate the situation, repeat and enforce rules, not show any emotion, just direct them to safety, make sure no one else gets involved and it's not a hazard to anyone else. Like answers like those that just sound really safe is what they're looking for. So as long as you don't say something like crazy, like, oh, I would like start fighting them, then you get the answer correct. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Comment down below any questions you might have, or if you need any more additional tips or advice before your lifeguard job interview. Like and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you on the next upload. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.